Hey there, Steve Rubis with another installment of Investor Relations in 2 minutes or less. Today we want to talk about the idea of getting the messaging right and controlling your narrative. And the example comes from NVAX, which published its data from a phase 1/2 study of its COVID vaccine this evening. And the issue is that the data was provided to a journalist under embargo. And ultimately the stock closed at 150. The journalist issued an article that caused the stock to go to 104 and then ultimately corrected the article that caused the stock to go to 179. Typically, you don't see moves like this in a stock unless you're seeing a battle between Gordon Gekko and Sir Larry Wildman. The Twitterverse is very angry with the journalist, but in my view, investor relations deserves a portion of the blame here as well. And there's two things to really focus on. And one is the idea of embargoed data. And number two is investor relations in this instance. And so under embargoed data, the journalist has a duty and obligation to make sure that he or she does everything in his or her power to make sure that the story is right. And that includes writing the article well before publication, letting investor relations in the company see it to make sure that there are no simple factual errors. There's no reason for a journalist to get something wrong if it's under data embargo. And then secondly, for investor relations, they're under a duty and obligation to make sure that if they provided embargoed data to someone or a third party, that they don't lose control of the narrative. If you're starting your investor call about the data by saying the journalist's article has been corrected, you've already lost. And that's the problem here, is that errors in the capital markets, while they're not deadly, they can cost people a lot of money. I know several people who've lost millions of dollars on this trade because of an error. So if you're in investor relations, you always need to have in the back of your mind that an error in what you do on a daily basis can cause real pain for people in the financial realm. Remember, and when it comes to investor relations, I lived it so you don't have to. Thanks for watching.